Hey guys, I am back for our next video here, and I think you're going to like these two next videos here. We're going to be doing some demos for you, and I'm going to explaining, showing you some of the final content. Sample game, of course. There might be some edits or whatever, but nothing big if we catch it. But I think you're going to like these next two videos, and I'm going to split this because we're going to talk about something that was one of the huge things I was passionate about was writing the encounter deck. So we're going to do a demo of that, and we're going to get into the treasure chest deck, which is the ultimate in risk and reward, as I say. Maybe we're going to take a look at a trap card, look at the trap deck, and maybe end in the next video with Celebration Day gift cards. So let's get into this. Up here on the Dungeon UI board, we have this encounter deck. I absolutely loved writing these encounters, and really way back I wrote about 120 encounters for Dungeon Crusade. But again, this game is, I think you know how massive it is. So there's 86 unique encounters in the encounter deck. So again, David Shear, let's take a look at that card backing for you. Look at that, how fitting for an encounter deck. Let me say also, a lot of people think sometimes when they see an encounter deck like, oh, this is going to be bad. No. When I created the encounter deck, or, this is the encounter phase, it goes upkeep, encounter phase, guardian phase, hero phase, monster phase, back to the top of the churn. Encounter phase is real simple, and it's something that I look forward to. You simply draw the top card of the encounter deck, and you play it. So let me explain real quick also, when you create your encounter deck, you're going to, of course, do this at the start of the game and after every celebration day. There's things called interlude cards. So let's grab a few of these first. And again, because I like to kind of teach you guys about the game and, get you excited for it and get you acclimated to how to play it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take out, that's going to be our demo here. So let's put that. These are called interlude cards. Okay, and there's 10 interlude cards, and these are just simple. These cards were meant to throttle the deck. And so, what you're going to do is you're going to separate these 10. So for this one, I wrote, comes into focus. It's just right there. See, I have the perfect tripod. Now I just got to get this thing to focus perfectly. But it does say a trail of flickering torches helps to guide the heroes deeper into this mysterious labyrinth. And there's some nice thematic art. And I think I mentioned that there's when I created this deck, I wanted to have nice little illustrations there for you. I just didn't want to have just text. I wanted to draw players into the experience. So I worked with Cameron Brown, and we came up with a lot of illustrations, unique ones for each of the cards. So what you do is, though, you take out these 10 interlude cards, okay, at the beginning of the game, if the encounter deck ever runs out, which I'll tell you, and after every celebration day. So you get your 10 interlude cards, set those aside. Shuffle the remaining 76, deal out 30. Take your 10, mix it in with the 30, shuffle it, and of course that informs your encounter deck. The nice thing is, since there's 76, you're never going to see the same encounter deck. Again, I'm huge on replayability, so the encounter deck will always change. You're guaranteed never to see the same one. But like I was saying is, if this ever runs out, like say we're working on Quest Table 1, right? And this deck ever runs out, you're going to take those cards, separate the 10 interlude cards again, put those 30 that you used back with the other ones. You're going to form a new encounter deck. But the encounter deck in Dungeon Crusade is like a timer. While you're playing, if this ever runs out, the villagers are getting worried. Monsters are known of your presence, okay? You're going to come over to the terror track. You're going to raise that up by 1, the terror level. The villagers are getting scared. What's taking the heroes so long? Also, you're going to raise up the minion population track. The monsters know you're there, so more minions are going to come out. So it's a fun, simple mechanic. And it's not too bad of a timer. You know, it's not like it's going to happen immediately. You can still get around the dungeon, open your treasure chest, mine, you know, all of that stuff. But it is kind of like a timer in a way. So hopefully you got that. So that's how you form an encounter deck. Real simple. 10 of these, deal out 30 of the other ones, shuffle them together. You have 40 cards. That's your encounter deck. Let's take a look at another card. And these are, you know, there's 4 different types. I'll show you that, then we'll go back to each one. Again, I'm having a great time chatting with all you. I hope you're excited for this, you know, looking forward to it now that you're learning more about it. So there is environment cards, and those kind of have like this green background. We're going to go back to all these. Of course, interlude cards. There are challenges. I absolutely loved writing challenges for you. Very cool challenges in the game. And those have like kind of like a red tinted background. And then events. So events are good and bad. And just like environments, they can be good and bad. So let's take a look actually at an environment. Environment cards stay in play until an effect possibly cancels it out from the encounter deck, or another environment comes into play. So for this one, a blood red moon has risen over the dungeon. It is the night of the undead. When combating monsters with the undead racial trait, these monsters receive a +3 to all warfare values while this environment is in effect. Very cool illustration the camera did. Check that out. It's like an eye, like, you know, and it's looking at a graveyard, and like the pupil is the moon with a skull in it. That was incredibly creative, Cameron. Kudos. And see like the racial trait down here? That simply lets you know that, you know, any undead monsters are going to have +3 to their warfare values. And then there's 5 racial traits in Dungeon Crusade as of right now. Human, undead, demonic, mythical, and beast. So that is an environment. They have the green backgrounds. Now events are good and bad. This particular one is a very good one. I want to make mention real quick. See this yellow eye and the red dot with the sword? What that simply means is this. This means that if a hero is being tracked, the yellow eye, if a hero is being tracked by a guardian, or of course in combat with a guardian, they're ineligible to do this event. So you would have to select another hero. The red circle with the sword, that simply means if a hero is engaged in combat adjacent to like a minion or guardian, they're ineligible to do this event. You'll have to pick another one. You know, your hero can't say to the monster, oh, you know what, wait a minute. I got to do this event, and I'll be right back with you. It doesn't work like that. So this one in particular is a really good one. One of the heroes has discovered a chamber which seems to be a chapel-like area in ruins. Upon the east wall is a beautiful fountain with blue water cascading into the basin. The waters will heal a hero for 6 health plus the result of a 1d6. Select one hero who will drink from the fountain. So this is a nice one because you actually get to pick a hero who might be low on health. But again, there are some events in there that are really bad, but then here's a really good one. So just remember, there's nothing, it's a mixture of good and bad. I made sure it was very balanced. So there is events for you. Blue, kind of tinted background. And then my favorite ones, guys, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say something about challenges. I absolutely loved writing these challenges for you. This right here is what I was very passionate about. Fun little game things like this, you know, that are just very random and just very surprising. And I think it's very appropriate, especially for Dungeon Crusade. So check this out. Notice the 2 symbols. The nice thing about challenges is, you see, you could get to select a hero. So it doesn't, you know, randomly select one. So you guys can talk about it, or if you're playing solo, look over your heroes and and you have to do challenges. That's what I wanted to say. You can't say, oh, I'm not going to do it. You have to do it. Select a hero. This hero has ventured into a chamber and has discovered 4 archaic coffins that are encased in cobwebs and dust. Take 4d6. These represent the coffins. Roll 1d6 at a time and consult the chart below for what the hero finds within each of the coffins. 1 to 3, a Doomclaw Scorpion stings the hero for 2 damage. 4 to 5, the hero finds 200 gold. 6, the coffin is empty. Now, I know some might say, well, why don't you just roll 1d6? Because, you know, I'm thematic, and that's how I wanted to write it. So you're going to have 4d6, and you're going to roll each one like they're coffins. Sorry, that's just the nature of me being a creator and loving this stuff. So as an added bonus, it just so happens that Enwin is over here back in the Queen's burial chamber, and we're going to try to use the new and improved tripod to get you right in the action with her. So hopefully this all works. Let's set this down and move this door, and hopefully this all works. Let me get her hero card. See, this is why I like this tripod. I like to get you right here to see what is going on in the dungeon. And guess what? I think that's going to work. And look, so you know there's a treasure chest right there in the Queen's burial chambers. Back that up just a little bit. Hope that should stay. Okay, so let's get our card here. And we have our cards, so we're going to get 4d6. I have those set aside, and I think we got to move that up a little more. That's pretty much perfect, I think. Keep sinking down. Okay, so we have our dice. So these are the coffins. So I'm going to try to roll in the dungeon, and I hope I don't destroy anything. So, ugh, 2. So she opened up this coffin, and it's a Doomclaw Scorpion. So I'm not going to keep doing this, but I'll show you that we're going to take her hero card, and she's going to lose 2 health. Hopefully I got that right. I'm looking through the camera. So she's down 2 health. So a Doomclaw Scorpion popped out, and it stung her. So she's going to open up another coffin. Double ugh. So she's going to lose 2 more health. So move that down to 5 health. And then we're going to open up, she's going to open up another coffin. She is having terrible luck. She loses another 2 health. Now let's hopefully, with the last coffin she opens, she finds some gold. Then she could use that to buy 2 health potions. No. It was not Enwin's night in the dungeon tonight, guys. She lost 2 additional health. And you know what? I love that about Dungeon Crusade. You never know what's going to happen. But then again, she could have rolled, you know, high and gotten 800 gold out of that. And I had all the gold set aside. But I wanted to show you, I'm not going to rig anything. When I do playthroughs, you get, you know, I could have easily rigged that so the dice came up that. But I want you to see that's what could happen in the dungeons of Dungeon Crusade. So I hope that you enjoyed that about the encounter deck. There's a lot of fun stuff in here. The challenges are very cool. And I'll tell you that there's one in there. I'll tell you what, before we leave, I'll show you a picture of one. Because I try not to spoil these. I got yelled at, seriously, for spoiling some of the stuff. I know that there's one challenge in there that has a well, and there's a chain going into the well. And Hero has to pull on that chain. I won't tell you what's on the other side of that chain, but you better pass the strength test. That's all I got to say. But take a look at this one right here. Notice there's like a little goblin and he's sleeping. He's coming to focus. Let's see that. There. Well, next to him, it says, I'll tell you this much, there's a sack of gold and there's a weapon, a shiny piece of loot next to him, but he's sleeping. So you're going to have to select a hero to creep inside of that chamber and try to steal that piece of loot and the gold while he's sleeping. And I won't tell you what test it is, what attribute, but you want to pass that. You don't want him to wake up and see what's going to happen. So I hope you enjoyed that little thing on the encounter. I wish Enwin would have done better so we could have had a real high note, but I wanted to be honest and let you see that's what could happen in Dungeon Crusade. Okay, I am going to stop this. We're going to come back. We're going to look at some cool stuff. Maybe another demo. Yeah, definitely. We're going to do a demo for you, and I will see you in a minute.